Hey all, Zook here with part 4 of the All Boss No Damage Scholar of the First Sin Guide. This time we'll be running through Shaded Woods and taking on Najka. Now, if you remember last video, we had finished up by buying the rest of the heavy bolts from Lenegrast, leveling up the dexterity, and also got agility up to 99. Bought some stuff from Malentia. Remember, the two things which you should have done by now, which I didn't do, are buying 2 fire bombs from Malentia and going to get the gold pine resin and stone ring from Things Betwixt, which we'll actually do at the start of the next video. But once you've done all that, head on up to Shaded Woods. You're going to use that first fragrant branch, the one that you bought from Malentia, to unfreeze Rosabeth. Here's this optional homeward bone. And I try to use a firebomb here. I have to use a witching urn because I forgot to buy firebombs. But I throw it at the bottom of this door, which aggroes the basilisk. And actually, I guess I shouldn't say aggroes, but it like unsticks the basilisk from its position on the door. If you used a firebomb, it actually lets you kill the basilisk in 1 crossbow hit. Using the witching urn, we're going to have to use 2 crossbow bolts. But I'm just going to send Rosabeth back. Again, I just send her back because I'm actually trying to route some way of getting a soul vessel from Salden, the Crestfallen Warrior. Apparently, if you send enough citizens back, he's supposed to give you a soul vessel. I haven't been able to make it work yet, but that's why I'm sending Rosabeth back, is if you're able to figure out a way to get that free soul vessel from him, that can save you a little bit of hassle later in the run. But yeah, at this point, we just throw our 2 skulls, shoot the basilisk. Again, if you had used a firebomb, then you can save on stamina and actually sprint up the stairs here and immediately jump across, like I have to wait a couple seconds to do. And since you're waiting for that door to open anyways, might as well grab this 2000 soul. And also there are some human effigies there. But just a normal run through now. And you're going to notice before I reach a grass patch, and actually I'll just wait until we actually get there. But this grass patch, I throw the skull before I step on it. So now those guys are aggroed. I grab this 2k soul. As long as you haven't used too much of your stamina and you can sprint out of there or roll out of there, you shouldn't get hit. And now it's just a matter of lighting the bonfire and then going through the foggy area. So as we go to Shaded Ruins, you'll notice that before I shoot the first giant tree, I wait for the fog to fully envelop me. That's because I'm checking at that exact moment if Forlorn has invaded. Since the bone isn't gray at this point, now I know that I can shoot the tree and I should be good. So I just run through this area. I hug as far left as possible. I haven't run into too many problems with this. There are other ways of running through this. Just check out some other Dark Souls 2 videos and I'm sure that you'll see quicker ways of getting to the Chloranthy Ring, or other ways. But I hit this 3rd tree and I'm listening right now for 2 different things. If I hear the tree groan, if I hear a sword hit on the tree, then I know I'm safe to run up here and grab the Chloranthy Ring. If I hear a crossbow knock and about half a second later see or hear a crossbow bolt being shot at me, then at that point I know that I need to roll. And I'm going to continue running through the area like I normally would, except instead of opening that chest, you just drop down and immediately go up to this bonfire here and just grab the Chloranthy Ring later. But I light this bonfire because I'm going to rest at it here in a minute. And I have my homeward bone out so I can check for a Forlorn invasion. But I come up here, and as soon as I hit this open plain, I don't see Forlorn invading, so I know that I'm safe to shoot this guy. And I'm going to jump across and grab the Titanite chunk that he was guarding. Now, normally, This guy kind of waits on the ramp, that little natural ramp that leads up here. He doesn't normally come up all the way to the archway. If he's waiting on the ramp, then you're perfectly safe to drop down here. Since he did chase me all the way, I panicked a little bit and ran a little bit too close to that guy that you just saw in the background, that aggroed. But you want to rest at the bonfire anyways to reset this area. Now, I'm going to shoot this first tree and then run past it to the right. And then I'm going to stab the second giant tree. So the first tree is on the left, stab this tree in front of me, run through this little pocket of trees, grab the amber herb, and then you see that lone tree in the distance that I just ran past on its left. Running straight past that lone tree on its left side brings you straight to the giant tree that you hit. And just as you come around to the iron chest, angle out a little bit, because there is a ghost boy that you can't really see that is aggroed to the tree that you just hit, that third tree. And just one thing to note, that as you grab the amber herb, if you see the curse urn, another way of figuring out where the chest is if you see the curse urn, you want to go left of the curse urn. But now I'm just gonna, as you saw, jump across and grab some of those fire bombs and what do you call it? The fire bombs and a 5,000 soul. I check for Forlorn Invasion again as I come up to the top of the natural ramp. And then I personally shoot these curse urns just because when I come back up, I don't want to accidentally get cursed. But drop down here, I don't bother rolling, but I give myself enough space where I'm not going to get stuck on the stairs as I try to get that second drop. Jump across here. I'm actually not down here for the bolt stone. I'm down here for the other 5k soul that is hiding behind these barrels. And then I run up here. And again, I don't think that the Forlorn should be able to invade if he didn't earlier, but if the Forlorn does invade, you actually want to just hold off on breaking those barrels until you see him running at you from the archway, and then come up here. And you'll notice that I kind of waited for the lion to actually like follow me up the stairs. I don't do that because I'm scared of the lion. I do that because that ghost boy that was chasing me through the sand pit can sometimes still be aggroed to you if you accidentally drop down too fast. So I just wait and make sure that the ghost boy isn't about to shoot me with a crossbow before I come over here to the towers, grab that fourth 5k soul. So I'm getting 20,000 souls just from all of that. And then shoot these moonlight butterflies, the one on the tree here and then the one on the other side of the archway. And then normally, well, and I guess let me mention the reason why we shoot these butterflies is to try to get twilight herbs. If you're lucky, you'll get twilight herbs. Now, normally though, I should have just backtracked. Right on the other side of this archway is the Lion Mage set. You're going to see me get the Lion Mage set in the next video after I do Congregation and realize that I completely forgot to get Ornifex and the Lion Mage set. But normally you would want to get the Lion Mage set. Check out the next video if you want to see the strategy for that. But at this point, I just run in here since I don't have the Gold Pine resin, since I forgot to get it from things betwixt. I just do this fight normal. As I think that it's 16 total hits, 2 of which were not counter hits. But just try to bait out her tail attacks. If you fought her before, you know the drill. I will mention 2 things that make this fight a little bit less scary. Basically, the only attack that you would want to bone out would be, and that's if you're scared of it, would be the homing soul mass. If she does the soul shower attack, then the shower attack is one that you can actually just sprint straight at her because it has a minimum distance that it has to go further away from her body. So right up next to her is safe from that charged up sorcery as long as you catch it in time. The other strategy, which is crazy cheesy, but I love it, is when she does the tail slamming attack, you can actually at the very end of her slams, you can hop on her tail. Like if you stand over the spot where her tails are in the sand, you can actually hop on her tail, which then lifts you up onto her back where she can't hit you. And I swear is the funniest thing. Um, Up to you if you feel like cheesing her. But at this point, we come over here, grab the Doors of Pharos bonfire for coming back to Royal Rat Authority. And then we're also going to grab the Royal Army campsite bonfire. We want to grab this bonfire because we actually don't have the Alluring Skulls right now to make it safely through all the way to Congregation of Magus. And we actually also want the campsite bonfire because we're going to come back to the campsite a little bit later after we have fall control. And we're going to get the best staff in the game for casting sorceries, the Staff of Wisdom, which you'll remember me mentioning back when we picked up a Lloyd Talisman in Hade. But yeah, at this point, it's just running through the area. That Crystal Lizard, if you can get it, awesome. It has, I think, one large shard and a raw stone, if I remember. At this point, since you don't have a leveled up blunt weapon, I'm not normally able to get it. I suppose maybe you could get it if you one-handed the hand axe and tried to do a strat similar to what we did above the Cardinal's Rest bonfire, or Cardinal Tower. I don't know, whatever that one in Forest of the Fallen Giants is called. You could try doing that to get the Crystal Lizard in the river. But I come over here, pick up these souls. We're gonna want these souls. I want to say that there's what, 4,800 or 4,400, if I'm doing that math correctly, from what we just picked up, which should get us one extra level when we're eventually trying to level up to get fall control, or well, to cast fall control. But at this point, we're just going to travel back to Majula, buy some Alluring Skulls and the Silver Cat Ring. We're going to need the ring when we eventually try to traverse Seldora, and also when we go to free Ornifex, we need the Silver Cat Ring. That's the reason why we didn't drop down to Grandel yet and try to free Ornifex. But yeah, we are just going to go back to Seldora now and beat Congregation. One thing that I will mention is at this point you actually probably should, before going to Congregation, you should return to Shaded Woods now that you have the Silver Cat Ring and actually free Ornifex. It just makes it a little bit quicker as far as running through Congregation and all of Seldora and all of that, but you'll see it's in the next video. I actually forget to get Ornifex, and it's a whole thing. So I will catch you in the next one.